What's up, y'all? Welcome into another episode of Profit Picks. If you are new, we do always start the show by being transparent. Didn't do any shows over the weekend, but the weekend wasn't the greatest. I think 1 and 2. Um, so yeah, not a good weekend, but overall things have been going well. Playoffs, I know we're up above 30 units. Um, really, basketball in 2026, I believe we're up around 73 units or something like that. So things still going well. Just wasn't the best weekend, but we have 3 games that we'll talk about for today. Unfortunately, still no Rob Veno until Friday, but we'll do the best that we can until he gets back. So, first game we'll talk about, we will start in the association. And let me just verify. This one did open up -5.5 for OKC. Seeing it mostly 6.5. Total open 217.5. And it looks like 221 or 221.5. As far as injuries, you do have De'Aaron Fox questionable as well as Luke Cornett, and I don't see anybody on the injury report for OKC. Game one, my bad, you guys. Game one, Western Conference Finals, and I just screwed this whole setup I have up. There we go. Game one of the Western Conference Finals, and we've seen these teams already play 5 times this year. Spurs have beaten the Thunder 4 out of 5 times. Seems to be a tough matchup for them. We'll see if it's going to translate to the regular season. One thing I do know, Chet and Wemby, it is something there. And Wemby really takes this matchup personal, and he's been winning the matchup. I mean, he's been holding Chet down every single time. The Thunder do get J-Dub back here for this game, and they've had a week off. So to make the argument, rest versus rust, but they have had 8 days off. When I look up history, it does still favor the more well-rested team here at home. I just can't help but think that the Spurs, they're in a really good rhythm right now, offensively. Defensively too, but just in a really good rhythm right now. And coming into this game with that same rhythm, there's no rest for the Spurs. This is a matchup they've been winning. It makes me want to back the Spurs here. It really does. I do agree with the movement on the total in a sense that when I think of both of these teams, what have we seen from the Spurs every single game so far this playoffs? No matter make or miss, they're going to run. They're absolutely going to get out and run. And versus a good Thunder defense, they'd want to avoid that in the half court once again. The Thunder, we see the same thing. They want to get out and run. Now, what makes it difficult is, I get that these teams haven't played really since February, but not a whole lot of the meetings have got to 222. I should just look them up really quick. Let me actually pull that back up if I can. My bad, you guys. I think there was a 219. Here we go. Pretty sure none of them, or not none of them, but most of them. So yeah, here we go. Matchups. We had one that landed 222. Then we had 217, 219. We had a 240, 220. What I'm trying to say is, we've seen these teams stay, below or on the number that we're looking at here today. And if we get some rest offensively from the Thunder, it could happen. It could happen to stay under this number. As the series goes on, as far as games 2 and 3, I do think when both teams become more comfortable, we won't have to worry about that. But I do think about it here, and that's what makes it tough for me to bet. So I'm still thinking about it. Might make a bet later, but I have not as of yet. Chet under his points is pretty appealing too. Let me see the comments. Anybody in here? What up, Gio? Joe, I think Swim's gonna go right at Chet. I would agree. That's what we've seen every time. I don't see why we would get different today. Gio says everybody on the Spurs ski, hand that over. Just climbing. I think the Thunder come out rusty. Got to be an under game one. My initial thought was over. But the more I think about it, I'm kind of agreeing. Brian asking, is there a trend with the team with the week off before the Western Conference Final? 65%, 75 to 70% win rate and covering. Someone was saying that earlier. I'm not sure. I'm not sure about that trend, but just the way I see this game, that's just how I'm thinking. Anybody else here? Joe says under. All right, looks like we can get to WNBA. So 2 games in the W. I move over on my odd screen, but the first one is Mystics and Wings, and it opened up -4.5. We see 4 is the consensus right now. There are some 3.5s, a little juiced. Total right around the opener. Um, let's get to the W injury report here. So for Dallas, I don't see anybody on there. For Washington, Onion Wary is still out. Um, you know, I've said before that I don't really view this Wings team as a team to lay points with too many times. Let me just put up their last game. Their last game, yeah, they laid versus the Lynx. They lost outright. I mean, the Lynx, much better coach team, et cetera, et cetera. We talked about that last game or last time. I think we did at least. If not, it was what I was thinking. But now I can't help but think. I mean, you get a Wings team off of that loss at home as a game you're supposed to win as a favorite, not having to travel versus a Mystics team coming off back-to-back overtime games. Yes, they've had some rest in between, but winning a game, as an underdog, I don't know. Seems like letdown Mystics. Seems like bounce back Wings. And you know, yes, Washington does have solid bigs, but and they have Sonya who's good too. But I mean, like I feel like they're gonna try to pack the paint, and I think Dallas can score on a perimeter. Like the 3 guards that they have, they're baskets. They can score on this Washington team, and I think that you'll get a really good effort from them, especially hearing a coach for Dallas after the last game, really just calling out people in the locker room for being selfish. We'll see if they respond here after a few days off. He said they're going to look at film and all that good stuff. We'll see. I think Dallas is the right side here. I bet Dallas -3.5. Um, any comments before we move on? Ghostwind Sports disagrees. He likes the Mystics. We shall see. Don't see really anything else for this game in the chat. So we'll keep it moving to the Sun and the Fire. Opened up -3.5 for the Fire. Looks like 4 total from 174.5 down as low as 172.5. For the injuries, Griner, game time, Adota out. Layla still not there for Connecticut. Still missing starting point guard there. For Portland, Carla and Kamaya are both game time decision. Samuelson is out. Oblak is out. This Portland team had a lot of time off after their last game. Um, Portland team has a really good home crowd. And they seem to feed off of it. This Connecticut team seems to be the worst team in the league. I mean, they're not doing anything well. I mean, they probably won't look good until they get their starting point guard back. Maybe that'll be a time where you start to get good numbers on them because of how poor they've looked, and getting her back will help the offense, but defense too. But it's just very hard to look at the Sun right now. They're just not doing a whole lot well. It'll be Portland or pass for me in this game. And I don't see anything else in the comment section here for this game. So it'll be a short show. I'm not the most long-winded person when I'm breaking down these games, by myself. So we'll wrap it up like that. Before we get to best bets, let's see what we can toss up here for promo. If you're somebody who say, damn, man, I need Rob Veno's opinion. Maybe you want to rock with this. This is the best, in my opinion, the best promo out there. Double the NBA court vision in 3 days for $59. You get both Rob Veno and my NBA plays for the next 3 days. And it'll take you almost till when he's back on the show. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Might miss Thursday, but he'll be back on Friday. So this is a good way to get his plays as well. And, I don't have the updated promos like I should. But like I said, basketball for me, I'm up like 73 point something units in 2026. We do have WNBA going right now, 2-1 so far over there. And it's a lot of good different ways to get involved. Last thing I will mention is I like to throw this out there because it's free money and because I don't have the new promos anyway. So let's promo something for myself. How about that? You trade 10, you'll get 10 using code Skee on Kalshi, and just free money. I mean, take advantage. And if you do, help me out if you use the code Skee as well. So with that, we'll go to best bets, and I'll go with the one bet that I made today or for today, and that's the Wings minus 3.5. You still can get a little bit juice 3.5, but I think the 4 is good. I mean, it's really just mostly situational, and how I said the coach was talking about the team and saying the things that he was going to do to fix it. I'm going to look for them to respond in an advantageous spot. Um, yeah, Washington off the back-to-back overtime games, although they've had some rest, I just don't see this being, the ideal spot for them. I see it being a letdown off of that win in their last game. So Wings minus 3.5, -4 will be my best bet for the show. Um, yeah, appreciate you guys for rocking with me. We'll be back tomorrow. So best of luck, everybody, on all your action, and I will catch you all again tomorrow.